All right, it's a busy night on the Knicks Fix. As always, we say hello to Alan Hahn downstairs in the Squarespace studio. So the Knicks, Alan, reportedly going to trade Marcus Morris to the Clippers. Knicks reportedly going to get a #1 draft pick back. The Clippers #1 this spring, and that would give the Knicks 7 #1 draft picks over the next 4 years.
Yeah, and that was the intention from the very beginning. Obviously, if they were going to make a deal for Marcus Morris, who had a lot of value around the league, especially with the two LA teams, you had to come away with a first-round pick. That's what you wanted, and that's what the Knicks certainly got. Now, there was a bidding war today going on between the Lakers and Clippers. The Knicks were actually, in some reports, were looking to get a young player also in the deal, like a Landry Shamet or a Kyle Kuzma, but neither team was willing to move on from a rotation player for somebody that's going to be a free agent. As we know, that's what Marcus Morris is going to be. So the deal turned into a 3-team arrangement. The Wizards got involved. They sent Isaiah Thomas to the Clippers, and word is they're going to waive him. But the Knicks, again, getting that first-round pick, that was the priority. That's what they wanted to get out of this because he was a player that had good value. The Clippers add very good value to an already strong bench. We'll see if he becomes a starter, but he looks like a guy that would come off the bench there. So as you mentioned now, the next 4 years stockpiled with picks. The Knicks are, with 7 of them. That pick will probably be about number 27. At least that's what it is right now where the Clippers stand. But first-round picks have value, and the Knicks have plenty of them now.
Okay, Alan, elsewhere of note, the Warriors trade DeAngelo Russell in Minnesota for Andrew Wiggins. Warriors trying to get under the luxury tax. And might this make Karl Anthony Towns a happier camper in Minnesota with the acquisition of DeAngelo Russell?
Bill, I'll tell you what, this is a huge move for Minnesota. This was very important for them to do, to be able to get a player that Karl Anthony Towns has talked about wanting to play with. And we also know that recently Karl Anthony Towns hasn't been happy, has been talking openly about his frustration with the losing going on in Minnesota. They have been searching for a point guard, it seems, forever, and they got him, and now they think they'll be able to build around these two young players who want to play together. Meanwhile, Andrew Wiggins is on to his 3rd team after being a high draft pick, but the Warriors like maybe the potential for him to fit with when Steph Curry comes back and Klay Thompson comes back as a nice wing player who can score. Big contract, yes, but they were able to move other players in a deal with the Sixers, a couple of bench players in Alec Burks and Glenn Robinson III, opened up some roster spots, but gets them under the luxury tax, as you mentioned, so they're not in the repeater, and that was important for the Warriors.
Okay, Alan, the Heat fried and were unable to get Danilo Gallinari, but they did get the veteran Andre Iguodala from Memphis. What kind of impact might that have on the Heat?
Well, you look at the resurgence that the Heat have had with Jimmy Butler as a free agent, what he has done for that team. They right now are 4th in the East, and they add a Finals MVP, a guy with great experience, great versatility, who seems to fit in exactly the type of team that the Heat are. And they end up signing also by trading for Iguodala, who sat out all year with Memphis waiting for a trade. They also gave him a 2-year, $30 million extension at the age of 36. So it shows you how much they believe that he can impact them. And maybe they have a chance now to get out of that Bucks bracket in the playoffs. If they can get into the 2-3 bracket, and they're only a couple of games out of 2nd in the East, they can feel like they can face the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals with a very versatile defensive team. So Pat Riley and the Heat feel like now's the time.
All right, Alan. Also, Andre Drummond, who has a player option for next year, goes from Detroit to Cleveland. What's going on with this deal?
Every year at the deadline, there's always that one deal that makes you go, what? Like, why would they do that? Andre Drummond was a player that the Pistons clearly were ready to move on from. He had an opt-out this summer to become a free agent, and they didn't want him to just walk without anything. So they thought, let's get something for him. And it's amazing. All they could get for the NBA's leading rebounder was a future 2nd-round pick and basically John Henson. That's all. For the Cavs, they get a few months to see if Drummond fits well with their young backcourt of Colin Sexton and Darius Garland, his dominant post presence, his rebounding ability, and maybe they can become a team that has a big that works with these two young. So here basically is what you have now on trade deadline day, a very busy day with a lot of moves, but these right here, Bill, well, these are the ones that made the most headlines. Marcus Morris, what he means for their Clippers bench that already is the best in the league. DeAngelo Russell and what he can mean for Minnesota in making sure that Karl Anthony Towns is happy and wants to stay.